नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. May God protect us all. May we take food together. May we pray and meditate together. May we attain wisdom through our study and discussion. May there be no conflict among us. May there be peace everywhere. Om. Amen. I bow to omnipresent God. I bow to all the saints and sages of all times and places. I humbly bow to our masters in Kriya Yoga lineage. And I bow to living presence of divine within you all. Good morning from Temple of Peace. As we have been discussing the topic mystery of death. Today is our fourth lecture in this series. In the last class, we discussed about the journey of soul after leaving the physical body from Earth planet, how soul leaves the physical body, soul associated with subtle body, causal body, mind and memory, transmigrated to another plane of existence, the higher plane. So from Bhuloka to Bhuvaha Loka, then Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa and Satya Loka. So it's a long journey. Those who are from India, and if you have observed the funeral process, after the death, the body is cremated as per the Hindu customs. Sometimes body is buried into the ground, but in Hindu tradition, body is cremated, and during cremation you will see that the son or whoever is performing cremation taking a long bamboo stick and breaking the skull. This is called kapala kriya. So I'll just tell you what is the significance of that kapala kriya. Remember, it has nothing to do with our kriya practice. So once I was in India, I did one program for Gurudev. It was during his centenary celebration 2006. It was in Durg. So there were 4 or 5 journalists. They came to take interview and news so that they can publish it in the next day bulletin. So one of the journalists asked me about questions about the Kriya, what is Kriya Yoga, etc. One of them had no idea about spirituality, and he asked me, so do you teach Kapal Kriya? I was just laughing because I said Kapal Kriya is after death ritual, not this Kriya. However, what is the significance of Kapal Kriya? In this ritual, once the fire is lit, the son takes a long and strong bamboo stick and breaks the skull of the dead body 3 times. Once that is done, body easily burns. The reasons why this is done are many. First, the skull bone is a hard bone. Breaking the bone makes it easier for the body to burn. Secondly, this is done to make everyone realize that the person has actually gone. So breaking the skull could act as a reality check for traumatized relatives to come to the terms with death. And thirdly, it is said that the forehead is the place where all the energies reside. Once that connection is broken, the soul finds it easy to leave the lifeless body behind. Doing this also makes sure that the soul will not be misused for any occult practices by scrupulous men, because in tantric practices sometimes they use dead body or skull or even the bones. However, so as we discussed last time about the journey of soul from earth planet to higher planes, and we discussed that in the second center symbolically there is Pitruloka, Bhuvahaloka, which has two sections. Pitruloka. Pitruloka is the place where all our ancestors are residing unless they are born again. We'll talk a little bit more about today about this Pitruloka. What is this? And we will also discuss that how to help the soul or departed person during this journey from Bhuloka to Bhuvaloka. Normally it takes 1 year. So what happens during 1 year of this journey of soul from one plane to other, and how we can help the soul? The journey of soul is infinite. Life after life, we are coming on the earth planet, we are reborn, again go to higher planes, come back to learn some lessons. If you are at the airport, you'll observe that many different flights are taking off and landing. Sometimes I enjoy seeing that while waiting at the airports. Hundreds of people are traveling every day. Some people get direct flight to their destination, but many do not. Therefore, most of the people have to wait for the next connecting flight. Sometimes you may get next connecting flight immediately. You get off the plane, come out, and immediately there is next flight ready at nearby gate. But very often there is variable overlay time and you have to wait for the next flight in boarding area or lounge, waiting lounge. So if you understand this concept, you can easily get the concept of Pitraloka. For a soul, this waiting area is Pitraloka. Between two births, there is time when soul has to wait according to his karma. So where the soul will wait for? Roaming around? No. So that's why Pitraloka is there, which is a waiting lounge. If a soul has favorable circumstances, according to his karma, he is born immediately. If the parents or other people with whom he has to exhaust set of karma in next life are not yet born, then the soul has to wait for the birth and remain waiting in Pitruloka. The ruler of Pitruloka is known as Lord Aryama. Sometimes Preta Deha, that spirit form we discussed in the last class, that after death spirit is formed and then that spirit is suspended form, it cannot come back to the body, it cannot ascend. So we have to make the astral body as it is with some ritual. So sometimes this spirit form does not get placed in Pitruloka due to strong likes and dislikes, and it gets attached to the earth planet and therefore wanders here and there. The spirit appears same as that of the physical body. When the lifespan of Preta Deha, spirit form, is finished, the soul goes to heaven, hell, or other plane and gets body accordingly as Bhoga Deha or Yatana Deha. Bhoga Deha means body for enjoyment. So In the last class, we clearly discussed what is spirit and then what is astral body. So astral body is formed after doing some rituals. Now, pitra loka is neither karma loka nor bhoga loka. That means you cannot perform action there, you cannot enjoy there because you don't have physical body. But this is just a waiting lounge before you are taking next birth. Therefore, preta deha, also known as ativahika deha or vasana deha, vasana means impressions, unfulfilled desires. So, in Pitruloka, person or the soul does not get the result of karma, but it expects enjoyments, bhoga. Remember, you cannot perform any action there as you do on the earth planet because you don't have the physical body. But you expect in that plane also, you expect some enjoyments. Now, we'll understand this little bit with example. We all have two types of hunger. The hunger by physical body is called kshuddha in Sanskrit, kshuddha, which is fulfilled by the solid physical food. The other type of hunger is not related to body but the mind, and it is known as trashna. These two are different words. One is the hunger for the physical body, other is hunger for the mind. So kshuddha and trashna. For example, if you desire to eat vanilla ice cream, I don't know how many of you like it, but some people have good liking for this. So let's say if you desire to eat vanilla ice cream, this desire cannot be fulfilled by eating bread or rice. Eating bread or rice can fill your stomach, but hunger for ice cream will still remain because this craving will remain due to the hunger which is not in the body but it exists in the mind. Is it clear? You had the desire to eat ice cream. If you eat something else instead of ice cream, your stomach may be filled, but your mind is not satisfied because you have not taken ice cream. So the trashna, the craving is still there, existing in mind. So a person who is dead does not have physical body, therefore he does not feel physical hunger, but he has the same mind as he had while living. Hence, he will feel hunger with mind as we all feel. Ordinarily, hunger for food is also in the mind. When you say you are hungry, so just think about it. Hunger for food is also in the mind. Your stomach doesn't tell that you are hungry. Every day, when we take breakfast, lunch, dinner, our mind develops this habit, and every day at the same time it craves for the food, isn't it? Similarly, the stomach does not need food at that time, but the mind craves food at the same time when spirit lives in Pitraloka. So as we feel hunger with mind, so also the spirit which has the same mind carrying from this life to another life or even another plane also has this craving. If it feels hunger, thirst, but in absence of physical body, it cannot take it. Now the question is, how does mind get satisfied? Suppose you have desire to eat mango. This desire can be weak or strong. If you eat mango, the desire is satisfied. Mango is gross food. Its juice touched your tongue and reached your stomach, and this juice will be digested in this physical body only. Mango juice did not reach the mind. but mind felt content with the feeling that I ate mango. So the desire born in mind to eat mango is satisfied in the mind. Is it clear? It's not the stomach. Now, dead person does not have physical body. Therefore, it is not required that mango juice should reach him. But he has mind which has cravings like we do have. To satisfy his hunger, his mind should feel that he has enjoyed mango. Since we have physical body and without eating mango, we cannot satisfy our hunger for mango. Spirit in Pitralok does not have physical body, so there is no question of eating mango physically. Then what to do? Someone should be made his representative whose food is acceptable to the spirit. Physical food taken by this representative here satisfies mental hunger of spirit. Just like if you cannot appear in the court of law, then you send your lawyer, your attorney on your behalf that he is my representative. And whatever decision comes or proceedings are happening, it is all acceptable to you because you made him representative. Similarly, spirit has mind but no physical body. It cannot take physical food, but it's still the mind is hungry. So through some medium, through some representative, the spirit gets that contentment that, okay, he has taken food, I am satisfied. And that is how the Brahmins and fire, these two are representative as per the Veda. The Vedic mantra says that Brahman and the fire are representative for the spirit in Pitraloka. So when we offer oblation to the fire, they get content. When we offer food, physically food to the Brahmins, there are priests who knows Vedic rituals, they chant Gayatri mantra, they follow all the prescribed uh, practices, then only you can say he is a real Brahmin. So if that person who is representative as per Veda takes food, the soul or spirit in the Pitraloka of departed person gets that mental contentment that my hunger is satisfied. Mind here does not really eat, but feels contentment. Spirit also becomes mentally dissatisfied as we humans become on earth planet. Therefore, to satisfy this mental hunger of spirit, there is after death ritual which is known as Shraddha. I'll give you another example that how it reaches the soul or spirit. If you send money order to someone and if the person is not living there at that address, then it will be diverted to the person wherever he is living. Postal department does that. If the person is not found, then the money order will return to the sender. When you perform Shraddha, Shraddha is special prayer offering rice balls and water. Some Vedic prayers are chanted. So when you perform Shraddha with devotion, the gross food ingredients do not go anywhere, but the satisfaction of offering reaches the spirit in Pitraloka. If your ancestors are in Pitraloka, they will be satisfied by receiving food offering. If they are not in Pitraloka, that means they are born already, then they will receive the offering or prayer in other body form, which they already have assumed. If they are liberated, then you will receive the satisfaction of your own offerings. Many times in life, we feel unknown grace of contentment. That means we are receiving satisfaction of someone's offering for us. Somebody in our generation, we left, we went to Pitraloka, we are reborn, but maybe our next generations, they are performing Shraddha or those prayers for us. And that's how we receive grace in this lifetime, which we don't know the source or even reason. So nothing goes waste. Now, after death ritual, which is known as Shraddha, what is that and how do we perform it? Just to give you idea. This word Shraddha has come from root verb in Sanskrit, or which is, there is a word in Sanskrit, Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. So whatever we offer to our ancestors or departed soul out of love and faith is known as Shraddha. Shraddha, from Shraddha it became Shraddha. With love, whatever we offer. The reason why traditionally we always said that if someone dies, you must burn the body within 4 hours is because life tries to get back. This is also important for the living. If someone very dear to you died, your mind may start playing tricks, thinking that maybe a miracle will happen, maybe God will come and bring them back. It has never happened to anyone. But still the mind plays because of the emotions that you have for the particular person. Similarly, the life that has exited the body also believes that it can still get back into the body. It is said in the scripture that at the time of death, knowledge expands. Scriptures tell that there is an afterlife in some other realm or dimension, and that is why the tradition of doing Shraddha during Pitru Paksha, 15 days dedicated to departed souls in the month of September, we call them Pitru Paksha, is followed in Hindu custom. Why do we do that? To make the journey of the deceased one towards that other realm easier. The details of Shraddha and Pindadana is mentioned in Garuda Purana. So I'll just share a slide with you. Garuda Purana is the scripture in which it is mentioned after death rituals. As I told, that cremation within 4 hours is recommended. Sometimes we have to wait for the relatives who are coming from far away places, so we keep the body for 1 day, 2 days. So that's an exceptional case. But if all are present, usually we cremate the body within 4 hours. And the cremation takes place before sunset. If there is death at night, so we have to keep the body at night and we cremate the body in the daytime. After that, when cremation is done, we offer 6 pinda. Pinda means rice balls. They are offered to the fire at the time. At that time, that's a instruction from Garuda Purana. After cremation, then 3rd day, we go to the place and collect the ashes, and those ashes are flown into river. People used to prefer it holy river like Ganga, but nowadays it is not allowed by the government of India, which is good for controlling the pollution. Then we offer tarpana. Tarpana means libation, some water with Vedic prayer, and pindadan, offering rice balls. So water and some food stuff, rice balls, we offer on 10th, 11th and 13th day, which is known as Sapindikaran Shraddha. I'll tell you what is Sapindikaran. Pinda means also the body. So to form the astral body from spirit form, which is suspended, we perform this 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th ritual. Pindadana is also done every month on the same lunar day. Suppose a person departed on 10th moon. So after death, every month when 10th moon comes, so we offer some prayer and rice ball or some food stuff for the departed. Then Pindadana, Shraddha every year on same lunar day, which is known as Varshika Shraddha and Parvana Shraddha in Mahalaya period. Mahalaya period, I told that 15 days dedicated to the soul in the month of September, Pitru Paksha. So every year, annual ceremony, we offer food stuff, the rice ball and some water with Vedic prayer. And then it is said after 3 years, there is final Pindadana, final ceremony, which is done in the holy place Gaya in the state of Bihar. However, so this is just simple bullet points I mentioned about the process of Shraddha. So it starts immediately after the funeral till the 13th day, and then Shraddha is done on lunar Tithi every year. In simple terms, this is what Garuda Purana states. When the time of death arrives for a person, Lord of Death Yama sends his attendants to fetch the person to Pitraloka for deciding his next life based on his karma. Death happens when mortal body ceases to function. The attendants of Lord Yama take the soul from the body and put it in a subtle body, which is micro replica of original body, which is invisible to humans, and then escort that person to Yama's court in Pitraloka. In Garuda Purana, there is very elaborate description of how from spirit form or suspended form, the astral body is formed with this ritual. So you see in the next slide, as I told you that we offer rice balls from the day when person departed, and on 10th, 11th and 13th day, we do Sapindikaran Shraddha, means forming the astral body. So Garuda Puran says that when we offer the rice balls or Pindadana and libation, the water, we also call it Tarpana. So every day we do it after death. First 10 days, actually the Pindadana is, this offering is divided into 4 parts. So first 10 days, whatever offering we do, it helps to form astral body. Because still we have, remember, after death, the soul is there, astral body is not yet formed, but it is in suspended airy ethereal form, which is spirit body. So we have to help the spirit to assume the astral form, astral body. So first 10 days, this is the ritual offering the rice balls with Vedic mantra forming the astral body. Then second portion of our offering on 11th and 12th day, other limbs of the astral body are formed. 13th day, the final ritual, astral body departs to higher plane, as I explained you before, from Bhuloka to Bhuvaloka, from earth to the next plane, higher plane. So this for third portion of the food on 13th day, it is the offering to Yama's attendant. And the fourth portion of our offering is the food for the departed person. And this journey from Bhuloka to Bhuvaloka, from earth planet to next plane, Pitraloka, normally it takes closer to 12 months. That means 1 year. And this is the reason that between this time, the person has departed and the next annual death anniversary. Between this, every single month on the same lunar day, we offer rice balls and water. We do Shraddha every month because this journey is for 12 months. In the next slide, I am going to show you the Garuda Puran in the 5th chapter, verse number 33 to 37. It explains the formation of astral body. The offering of Pindadan on first 10 days, the first portion as I told you in the previous slide. So the first rice ball, first Pinda when we offer with the prayer, I'm translating the mantras here in short in English. First Pinda forms the face of the spirit before it is in the ethereal or air form. So first Pinda forms the face of the spirit, which is known as Preta. Second Pinda forms eyes, ears and nose. Third Pinda forms the neck, shoulders, arms and the chest. Fourth Pinda forms navel, genitals and anus. Fifth Pinda forms thighs, knees and feet. Sixth Pinda forms all the marmsthal, joints. Seventh Pinda forms nervous system. Eighth Pinda forms the teeth and hairs. Ninth Pinda forms the sperm. 10th Pinda creates hunger, thirst and completeness in the spirit body. So the first portion of your offering, 10 rice balls with each mantra prayer, we offer it and it forms the spirit body. Still that is now from spirit, the astral body is formed and that astral body is still there in that atmosphere for next 3 days. So then we perform another Shraddha on 11th day, because up to 10th day we have finished. Then 11th day, 12th day we perform and then 13th day. So 11th and 12th day, other limbs of the astral body are formed, which are not included in this 10. Then 13th day offering for Lord Yama, and 13th day, whatever little portion is there, fourth part of your offering, it is for the departed soul. Then after 13th day, the soul realizes that it is no more in the physical body, and it leaves this earth planet, this atmosphere, and starts journey towards the higher plane, pitra loka. Before that, up to 13 days, the soul remains here because the astral body is formed. And so this is the significance of performing Shraddha ceremony. It's very elaborate and it is performed by the qualified priests only. Not everybody can do that. So with this Puranic description, we can understand the journey is supposed to take 12 months, ending with first annual anniversary. After 13th day, Pindadana is done once every month, and then it is only food and water we offer every month to the departed soul. And remember, the rice balls or water which we are offering every month, that is the only food and water which is received by the astral body and to satisfy the hunger and thirst of the mind in the spirit with the astral body of the departed. So during this 1 year of journey, we take care of this departed soul with this ritual. No Pindadan means starvation for the astral body of the departed soul. Now, after the Shraddha is done every year, the purpose of Shraddha is to alleviate the suffering of the departed person as well as other ancestors who might still be waiting in Pitraloka for their time to be reborn. Shraddha performed by son for ancestors pleases and comforts them, and also allows the departed parents of the son to join those ancestors who are in heaven instead of rotting in hell till they get a new body and they are born again. During Shraddha ceremony, the food offered to deceased soul is received by them in subtle portion, while gross part of food remains as it is and it is normally thrown into water. We don't eat that. The subtle bodies of the ancestors acquire energy through Shraddha ritual. So the solid portion remains here, but the essence of that, or the subtle portion, or the essence of that solid food is received by the astral body in pitra loka. You'll say how? Today we are living in the advanced technology, the time of advanced technology. Everywhere is, we know how Wi-Fi works. So all the prayers are like that, energy can be transmitted. So the essence of food also is received there in the other plane of existence. After death, the embodied soul along with subtle body travels to subtle planes. The soul does not have gross body, and in order to get a new body, Shraddha ritual and cremation is necessary. Now, in some of the religions, cremation is not done. That is fine, because they have their own prayers, they have their own process of burial, which is also fine, because as per their custom, it is having the equal effect or same effect as we do in Hindu customs. So simple method is mentioned in our scripture to do Shraddha. Now there's a question: if a person who is poor, who cannot afford to perform Shraddha ritual because of lack of resources, or lack of knowledge, or what to do. So scripture also tells that if a person who is poor and is unable to perform Shraddha ritual, he should go to a deserted or isolated forest, raises his hand, and with spiritual emotion he prays that I am poor and I do not have food. Please relieve me from my ancestral debt. He still receives the merit like performing Shraddha ritual. Let's discuss the importance and need of performing Shraddha. So here I would like to mention, why do we need to perform Shraddha, means why do we need to this after death ritual with prayer. First thing, I explained that we are helping the soul to ascend, not to remain hungry and thirsty, be satisfied, because it is the mind of that departed soul. There are two reasons. First thing, why we should perform Shraddha? It is to repay the debt to ancestors. It is equally important as repaying the debt to God, sages, and the society. It is the duty of the descendants to respect their ancestors, make donations in their name, and to undertake activities that will please them. Performing Shraddha is a part of obeying our dharma, our duty, as per the scripture. So it is our duty to pray for them and help them in their ascension for the next plane and to be reborn. Because we are indebted to our parents, our ancestors, we have to do that. The second reason, ancestor's soul becomes satisfied only after receiving the pinda, rice ball, and water from their son. In Hindu customs, daughters are not allowed to perform Shraddha ceremony because they are considered to, because they belong to the other family. When they are married, so they assume or acquire the name of the husband or their family name. So they belong to the other family. That's why they are not entitled to perform Shraddha ceremony. In relation to this, there is a verse in the holy text Mahabharata which describes the authority or who is qualified to be a son. When it is said that only son can perform the Shraddha ritual, suppose a person does not have son, then next person is uncle can perform, or the next relative, and so on. But usually it is the son who has the right to perform Shraddha, even the cremation. Why that person, means son is called in Sanskrit, son is known as putra. So why he is called Putra? There is a reason. In Mahabharata, first book of Mahabharata, 74th chapter, 39th verse. This definition, Punnamno Narkadyasmat Pitaram Trayate Sutah Tasmat Putra iti Proktah Swayam Eva Swayam Bhuva. The son protects his ancestors' souls from the hell named Puta. So there is a hell, its name is Puta. So sun helps these ancestor souls from downfall. That's why his name is Putra. So he saves these ancestors from that hell named Puta. That's why he is known as Putra. So Lord Brahma gave him name Putra. If you read Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter, 42nd verse, it is mentioned, Patanti Pitro Hesham Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha. Due to non-performance of rituals like Pinda, Shraddha, and offering water to deceased ancestors, the ancestors of such people, means those who do not perform Shraddha, have to reside in the hell region. This results in stagnation and no progress of the descendants. In astrology, Vedic astrology, you will find many times astrologers tell that if you are suffering from various problems, there is no progress, lot of problems in your family, obstacles everywhere, and they calculate and they say there is pitru dosha in your horoscope. Pitru dosha means you are neglecting your ancestors, they are unhappy with you, and that's why, because of sometimes they may curse, or sometimes when they are not happy, then you are not happy here. So it is our duty to make them satisfied, happy, and that's why Shraddha ceremony is done. And that's why when there is Pitru dosha in horoscope, some rituals or some prayers are recommended by astrologers. You'll ask that I'm asking or I'm explaining about the Hindu rituals only, but we don't know anything here. So let me clarify that each religion has its own prayers and after death rituals. I'm not familiar too much with that, but a little bit about the Christianity I can tell that in Christianity also there is death ritual. As far as little I know, that prayers are offered from Psalms to forgive soul for its sins. Then the body is taken to the church after death. There is ceremony and prayers by the priest for the departed soul, concluding with Holy Communion. And there are set of prayers which I have separately, because one of our disciple is a priest and he performs all these in Colombia. So I stay with him sometimes during programs. So we discuss. During burial, priest chants some prayers. Again, the prayers are from Psalms and then other sections of the Holy Bible. In case of cremation, because both are possible, but in case of cremation, ashes are given to the family members. There is generally mourning for 9 days. Another thing, that Catholic Christians do not believe in existence of soul after life and spirit, but still they pray. And here in USA, we have seen there is All Souls Day. So that day we pray for all the souls. This is equal to what we do in Hinduism for the 15 days in the month of September. So every religion. Similarly, in Islam, there is also after death ritual and prayers. I'm not familiar with that, but they have. So each religion takes care of in their own way. They have recommended process. So nothing to worry. You have to consult your own priest and they will help you out. Many times people ask, what happens to food offered to deceased if he or she is already born? Why should we offer if the person, we don't know whether person might have been born? Then why should we offer food here? Now again in Garud Purana, 10th chapter, 19th verse explains that as per the actions performed on the earth, if a man becomes divine, because it's possible that you have very good actions, so you, after death, you may become divine, means you are called in the category of deva, divine beings. So if you become divine, then you will receive the food in the form of nectar, because devas, they eat nectar only. So you offer food here on the earth planet, water and rice balls, pindadana, but your ancestor or your parents, or they, if they are after death, if they are divine because of their actions, so in which form they receive it, your food, the food or essence of your food offered here is transformed into nectar, and they will receive as nectar, because they can receive only nectar. So it reminds me of the transducer system in quantum physics. We studied that uh, it transforms one form of energy into other form. So if the departed soul after death has assumed celestial form, because there are many different forms, celestial, yaksha, gandharva, and so on, different categories. So if they have become celestial, then they will receive your food offering here as enjoyment. And if they are in animal form, because of their really bad karma, they will receive your food offering as grass, because they are in animal form, they can eat only grass. In the form of snake, it is received as air. In the form of bird, it is received as fruits. So you offer rice ball, but it will be transformed into, they will receive fruit. As your food is offered, it is transformed. In the form of ghost, they receive as non-vegetarian food. And for spirit, it is blood. For the human food is received as food and water. And just like in the childhood, the baby can drink only milk. So if your ancestor is still in spirit form, means not ascended, and after death, because there is no Shraddha process done, or um, they have really bad karma, so they remain in spirit form and they wander here and there. And that's why sometimes you have come across the cases where some spirits, they haunt and they are trying to occupy some human being, making the medium, they try to fulfill their unfulfilled desires, and they create a lot of troubles. So these are the spirits, because they could not ascend to pitra loka, they cannot come back to the body which is already buried and decomposed, so they remain suspended. If they have negative karmas, they trouble others. Otherwise, they immediately get the astral body formed and they ascend to pitra loka. However, so if they are in spirit form and you are doing some shraddha here, offering your food and water, but it is received by them as the blood, because they can drink blood only. So that is the reason why someone gets sudden help or grace in life. It is an indication that someone has done shraddha for him. So if you are getting some help, some grace suddenly, so take it granted that somewhere somebody is doing prayer and shraddha for you. Since it is not certain when soul would be born after death, there is recommendation of performing shraddha for 3 generations, because there is no definite time. In the previous class, we discussed that in normal course, soul gets rebirth up within 1 year. But there is still no definite time. We don't know. Sometimes some souls have to wait. For example, if the soul has to take rebirth, but the parents are not yet born through which the soul is going to be reborn, but those parents are still not born, so it has to wait. Sometimes spiritual souls, means those who are very spiritual on earth planet because of their really good karma, they have to wait for a suitable womb. They won't go to a family where they will not get a spiritual progress. So sometimes they have to wait for a longer and longer period of time, and according to their karma matching, when their families or parents are very spiritual, then they can get rebirth in that family. Otherwise, many good souls have to wait. However, Guru or Sadguru helps, as we discussed before. Remember, death is a pleasant transformation. In Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 22nd verse, we discussed, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya, navani granhati naroparani, tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani, anyani sangyati navani dehi. Just as a man puts on new garments, leaving the old ones, similarly, the embodied soul takes on new physical bodies, giving up old, useless body. In Chandogya Upanishad, 5th canto, 10th chapter, there is mantra from 5 to 7, the three mantras. It explains the soul's descent and rebirth elaborately. I gave a little bit idea that how from Mahaloka it descends to the earth planet in the form with the help of dew drops and absorbed by the plants in our, if you remember the second lecture. In Naradiya Puran also the time of soul's rebirth is mentioned as 1 year in normal course. Hinduism believes in the rebirth and reincarnation of the souls. The souls are immortal and imperishable. A soul is part of jiva, individual being, who is subject to the impurities of attachment, delusion, and law of karma. Death is therefore not a great calamity, not an end of all, but a natural process in the existence of individual being as a separate entity. So death is like a resting period during which the soul recuperates, reassembles its resources, adjusts its course, and returns again to the earth to continue its journey and learn some new lessons. In Hinduism, unless a soul is liberated, neither life nor afterlife are permanent. They are both part of grand illusion. So we always strive for liberation, moksha, realization, so that we will not be reborn. And for that we need human body to perform right action, to do some spiritual practices. So death is temporary cessation of physical activity, a necessary means of recycling the resources and energy, and it is an opportunity for the individual being to re-energize itself, review its programs and policies, and plan for the next phase of life. Each life experience on earth and each incarnation of soul offers the individual being, jiva, an opportunity to learn and overcome its inconsistencies and blemishes so that it can become the whole, Purna. We cannot have likes and dislikes, preferences, prejudices, and attachment, and yet expand ourselves to be liberated. Not possible. We have to be free from these vices. Even a preference for purity becomes an impediment on some stages in our lives. So no desire should be there except God realization. The soul therefore needs to be born again and again till it overcomes its state of delusion, achieves the state of equanimity, and realizes its completeness. When a person dies, his soul, along with some residual consciousness, leaves the body through an opening in the head and goes to another world and returns again after spending some time there, just like a vacation. What happens after the soul leaves the body and before it reincarnates again is a great mystery about which we can form an idea after studying some scriptures. Apart from death, there is also a phenomenon, we all know about it, transmigration of soul. Remember the episode from Autobiography of a Yogi from Swami Sri Yukteswarji appearing in body almost 3 months after his physical departure from this planet. There are some stories, cases where we read about the transmigration of soul. Without death, soul is entering to another body. And this is mentioned in the Yoga Sutra Patanjali in the third chapter, which is Vibhuti Pada. You can find this is mentioned, third chapter, 39th verse. Transmigration of soul. बंध कारण शैथिल्यात् प्रचार संवेदनात् च चित्तस्य पर शरीर आवेशः. When there is a loosening in the cause of bondage, remember we all are bound because of our desires, our attachment, our likes and dislikes. We are bound in this world, we are bound with this body. But when there is a loosening in the cause of the bondage, the yogi can enter. Remember, the yogi can enter into the body of another through the channel of knowledge. Without going through the process of death, yogi can enter, leaving, casting off his old body and entering a new body. So that process is known as parakaya pravesha. Adi Shankara has done that. So in the scriptures you can find similar description about entering the another body, and Adi Shankar has done. Apart from that, there are other realized masters who have also demonstrated this skill. This is a different practice for a Kaya Pravesh, which we will discuss in our next class. And also we will discuss how to prepare for death. We cannot avoid it, but we can prepare in a positive way. So this discussion will continue in our next class. Thank you very much. I am praying to God and all the masters to give us all-round development, to give us knowledge, to make us free from this illusion, delusion and error. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all become happy and healthy. May everyone be loving, noble and generous. May there be no suffering or sorrow. May there be more love, peace, prosperity and harmony among us and in this entire creation. May the blessings of God and the masters be upon us all and everywhere. Om. Amen. Thank you all for joining. Meditate nicely. See you on next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.